So I wondered if some of these people don't even have a clue as to what harassment looks like, as to what bullying looks like. They're so accustomed to it. It's Hello and welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. Listen, if you've not subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, like, and share. And also, if you don't know, I started another channel called Adrienne Ross Squared, squaring off from A to Z. So if you're interested in talking about a plethora of other topics, including faith and politics and human interest stories and interviews and all that kind of stuff, make sure you go on over to there. I will have that link in the show description, and you can check out the video also that I put out the other night about that. Now, back to what I want to talk about today, the Seattle Storm. Well, lots of eyes are going to be focused there on the Seattle Storm and on Jewell Loyd after bringing allegations of harassment and bullying from the coaching staff, Coach Noelle Quinn, the head coach, and her coaching staff toward Jewell Loyd, and apparently some other players whose names we don't know for some reason. Well, the external investigators came back and said there is absolutely nothing there. No, there. Did a video last night about that. I want to talk a little bit more about it. I showed you the article from the Chicago Sun-Times last night, but there are a couple things that I want to show you from ESPN's reporting of this situation. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why there could be behavior that is completely unacceptable, but nothing happening here. All right, let's take a look at that article. The ESPN article is entitled "Source: Storm's Jewell Loyd Requests Trade After Investigation." And of course, I covered this last night, but I want to point out a few things here. It says that the news, first reported by the Chicago Sun-Times, comes hours after the Storm announced that the external investigation into reported accusations of harassment and bullying by the team's coaching staff had concluded without finding any violations. And I highlight external investigation because from what I have heard and understand, the team hired the external investigators, which sounds very internally, right? To make a different use of the word internally. So the team hired external investigations to investigate the team. So you got to keep that in mind when you think about the fact that concluded without finding any violations. And the source confirmed to ESPN that it was Loyd who filed the complaint. But we also know that it wasn't just Loyd who supposedly was a part of being harassed or bullied on the team. As you can see here, it says, according to the Sun-Times report, the investigation was sparked by the experience of multiple players. Okay, multiple players. So again, as I shared last night, this investigation concluded without finding any violations. This is what stands out to me. Jewell Loyd's name is the only name we have on this, but the report makes it clear multiple players have experienced this harassment or bullying, this alleged harassment or bullying, and now this supposedly non-harassment and bullying. And I got to ask, how do you have multiple players saying they were harassed and bullied? And the investigation noticed it said there are no violations. It's not like it said, well, there were some things that need to be dealt with, and so they're going to be dealt with the team, but not sufficient enough to move any further in this. it says no violations at all. But you've got multiple players who say they were violated in some way. I gotta go with this. First of all, to the people who say, well, Jewell Loyd is just complaining about some kind of Nike deal, or Jewell Loyd is just being a baby, and Jewell Loyd needs to toughen up. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know of any, I don't have any indication that Jewell Loyd, a two-time champion, has had a history of being a whiner and a complainer and someone who cannot be coached hard. I don't know, but you may know. Put it in the comments and let me know. But I don't know that there's any evidence of that at all. These players throughout the WNBA are used to having coaches who can be a bit tough. So I find it hard to believe that someone files a serious complaint about bullying just because the coach got on her case about not putting forth a lot of effort. I just find that hard to believe. And all these players are whips. Is that what we're saying? All these players don't understand what coaching is. Whoever the multiple players are, none of them understand what coaching is. None of them can handle difficult coaching. All of them are just weaklings, lying, or have an axe to grind. Is that what we're going to say? I just find that hard to believe. But again, I'm not surprised. And one of the things that this makes me think about is this league. It's really possible that because of the way the league operates, and we know, if we didn't know, we certainly saw it with players during Caitlin Clark's rookie season. We understand that there's a culture of physicality. There's a culture of hazing. The players have talked about it. So I wondered if some of these people don't even have a clue as to what harassment looks like, as to what bullying looks like. They're so accustomed to it, it's normal. You know what? It reminds me of when someone has the smoke detector. Battery is bad, and that thing is beep, beep, beep. And you come in to visit the person's home, and you're about to you want to bang your head against the wall because please change the battery. And they're like, what? And you're like, do you hear that? And they're like, hear what? Because they've gotten so accustomed to it, they don't hear it anymore. Now, again, this was an external investigator, but they chose the one who was going to come in and investigate, which means they felt comfortable. At least that's the way I see it. They didn't put somebody in there they didn't feel comfortable would side favorably with them. That's just the way I see it. That's what I believe. Okay. So they're going to pick someone perhaps who's got the same mindset they have. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you think I'm wrong, and that's okay. But I'm saying that I think that the team for sure, and I think the team's going to look for someone who aligns with their values, quote unquote. They may not even recognize, no violations whatsoever. That's not bullying. That's not bullying. That's not bullying. That's physicality. That's the nature of the sport. That's the way it is. That's how we roll. That's the norm. And it just makes me wonder, do they not know? When we hear about a Diana Taurasi and how she frightens the new players out of their minds, that, oh my goodness, because that's normal. That's normal that she tries to hurt you because I mean, I don't know. I just makes me wonder if they didn't find any violations because nothing is a violation pretty much in the league. The culture of the league, the DNA of the league. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know. Jewell Loyd and all the players could have totally made it up. They could be wimps. I just find that hard to believe for people who got to this point in a professional career. But the investigation is what the investigation is. But I just, I don't know. That's my thought. My thought is, yeah, they may not be a bunch of horrible investigators, but maybe like other people in the league, they just don't have a clue. I mean, there were people who told us that, stop whining. Caitlin Clark wasn't nobody targeted her. There are people in the league who are just like, what? She just got to toughen up because there are levels to this thing. So if they found some of what Caitlin Clark dealt with as normal and natural and no violations, I mean, then hey, who knows? Who knows what's considered to be okay? What we do know is that Jewell Loyd says, I want to get the heck out of Dodge. And we'll soon find out what that looks like for her. Well, again, I'd like to know what you think. Maybe I'm completely off. I don't know. But whatever you say in the comments, do so respectfully. Chop it up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you've not done so. I'd appreciate it very much. Check out the store. Click the store button. See what we've got there and support the Adrienne Ross Show. I will catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.